Thank you very much, Jason Fickel. Great first set. That was fantastic and wonderful. Rounding things out with Can't Live No Place, an original, and a little Robert Johnson before that.
Yep.
Always good to hear.
Yeah.
Always good to hear.
Little Robert Johnson, come into my kitchen. Come on in my kitchen.
Yeah.
It's going to be raining outdoors or snowing maybe.
Or snowing, right? And by the way, if you didn't get your bagels and schmears, you head on over to Jason's kitchen because he's got you set up, man. Is your kitchen open?
In theory, yes, in theory, open to all.
Fantastic. Hey, so tell me what geez, I hate to bring up the obvious, but that's what I do best. And it has nothing to do with the size of my nose. What have you been doing with yourself? How does a guy who thrives on making music and live performance, kind of get through this fantastic world we're in right now, and make it, seem okay? Like, what are you doing? How are you doing?
It's been crazy. Well, I've been very fortunate, and I've been able to maintain some connections with people, online mainly. I started making these little videos, 2 minutes long, that are available on my YouTube channel, and they just let you just search for Jason Fickel, and they pop up pretty quickly. So I've kind of been using the technology and making some recordings of stuff I probably wouldn't record otherwise. And then, my singing partner, Ginger Curry, and we did a live show in suburban Chicago on March 1st, I believe, or
Oh, wow.
March 2nd, somewhere in there. And I said, Ginger, I'll see you next week, and we'll begin working on that recording project we've been talking about. And that did not happen. But I've been trying to keep the recording project going. I've been recording, we're working on a new project, which is a celebration of this songwriter, Jessie Mae Robinson, who was from Texas and then California and wrote hits for Elvis Presley, Louis Jordan, Hank Snow, all different kinds of people. And she's just underappreciated. So we are going to record a CD of Jessie Mae Robinson's songs. So I've been working on the demos where I write out the chords and play the chords, and some of the songs that I sing, and then some I leave what are called dummy vocals. I don't know if you're familiar with that concept of dummy vocals.
Yeah, that's what happens whenever I sing.
Exactly. Dummy vocals. Yeah, there we go. So I leave behind some dummy vocals for Ginger to fix up and replace. So I've been able to send those to a guy who mixes those so they sound listenable. So whenever we get back in the studio, we'll hire the band and send them these demo recordings. And and then I don't know if you remember, but over a year and a half ago, my trio, the VLF trio, played on Saturday's Child.
Yeah, of course I remember.
Trio setting, yeah, that was a great time. We were able to have at my house this summer a couple rehearsals on the deck, whereby we were all socially distanced, and it was beautiful. And we have electricity out there, so we were able to play electronically, and the neighbors didn't really complain. So we got to rehearse a little bit that way.
Yeah. Did you find that the neighbors sort of pull up lawn chairs and kind of gathered around and brought, like refreshments? And
yeah, well, I was actually afraid that might happen. In other words, I wanted to be good enough so people would enjoy the music, but not so good that people would violate the social distancing as they approached the deck. It was kind of a line to walk there.
Well, that latter part must have been really hard for you. I can see the sort of Beatles-esque screaming teenagers, coming after you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, one neighbor stopped by. He was new to the neighborhood, and he stopped by and said, "Wow, you guys sound great. When the pandemic's over, I want to hire you for a party." And I said, "Oh, that's great. We would love to do that. We would love to do that." And then, of course, I couldn't really give him a business card because that would be too close, social distance. So he hollered his phone number over the fence, and I texted him my information. So, we're all adapting. We're all adapting.
We are. It's funny that you tell the story too, because we were going to have a live show in October that was actually live on my back porch.
Oh, well, there you
Because
go.
I heard my neighbor, yeah, I heard my neighbor, much like you're saying, they were jamming on his back porch because that's the only way they could rehearse distance. And I said, hey, why don't you guys come over to my house and do it on Saturday morning and we'll record it and put it live on the radio. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. But yeah, somebody got injured and we had to cancel the idea at the last minute. And then ultimately, but here we are now. And so as soon as the weather permits, we will be at least outside and doing that, if not otherwise. So, but man, so glad you could help us out and be back on the show. It's so good to hear you, man. You sound fantastic this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back, and so glad again. I know you. I'm sure you might mention their names later, but of course, Jim Lang, Jeffrey Morris, Ilza Ackerbergs. I just Joe Loop. I appreciate. Sometimes Marion's in on this show, Marion Conaty. So I just appreciate all of you making it work for so many Saturdays.
Yeah, it's been over 300 probably. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks very much. And you've been a part of many of them, and definitely on the highlight reels, when the family gathers around the fireplace over the holidays and I start telling stories about the great moments, because of course they asked me to do that on the radio show. Your Jason, the Jason Fickel and Jason and Ginger and the VLF trio, those are the moments that I cherish very much.
Oh, thank you.
I really cherish the fact that you're here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our second set. Welcome back to Saturday's Child, Mr. Jason Fickel. Woo!